Welcome to the Week in Review, the show that brings you up to date on the week that was. Here are the top stories. RIL's profits fall but beat street estimates. IMF slashes its projection for India's economy, and the government will hike duties on foreign power engineering firms. We start with India's biggest company, Reliance Industries. On Friday, RIL provided a glimmer of hope for corporate India by posting better than expected first quarter earnings. While the company's profits fell for a third quarter in a row, the drop was less steep than many had anticipated. Net profit stood at 4,473 crores, a fall of 21%. Sales rose 13.4% to 94,926 crores. One of the most keenly watched numbers from RIL is the gross refining margins from its oil refinery in Jamnagar, the largest in the world. Once again, RIL beat estimates with a GRM of $7.6 per barrel. Reliance Industries announced its earnings after markets had closed. Shares of the company fell 0.7% on the BSE on Friday, tracking the Sensex, which also fell 0.7%. The Reserve Bank wants to tighten the rules for debt recasts. On Friday, an RBI panel proposed stricter norms for loan restructuring. The panel recommended hiking the provisioning set aside for recast loans. It also called for an increase in promoters' contributions during a restructuring. RBI will now wait until the 21st of August for comments on its proposals. The IMF has cut down its projections for India's economy. Its latest update to its April World Economic Outlook says weak global markets and falling demand at home will mean slower growth. IMF's projection for the calendar year 2012 is 6.1%. Its forecast in April was 6.8% of GDP. India grew at 5.3% in the January to March quarter, and there have been few signs of a revival since then. IMF's new report called India a rising concern, citing a large fiscal deficit and the weakening rupee. Another factor that can pull down the economy is the poor monsoon. Not only can deficient rainfall increase food prices, it can also add to fiscal pressures. On Wednesday, Karnataka asked the government for a 2,000 crore relief package to help tackle the drought-like situation in the state. Karnataka has suffered a 43% rain deficit in the 1.5 months from the 1st of June to the 15th of July. Moving back to corporate news, Indian power engineering companies are going to get a breather. The cabinet has approved a proposal to impose duties on foreign power generation equipment. A 5% import duty will come into effect shortly. It'll be accompanied by a 12% countervailing duty to make up for excise on Indian products and a special additional duty of 4%. Adding them up, the effective tax rate on foreign power equipment will be 21%. The new duties will help Indian power companies like BHEL and L&T, but they will hurt Chinese power engineering firms and their Indian clients like Lanco and Reliance Power. And here are some stories in brief. Mahindra Logistics says it plans to become a fully integrated third-party provider of logistics. CEO Piroj Shaw Sarkari told Mint he's looking to reduce dependence on Mahindra Group companies to about 50% of revenues. They currently account for some 70% of business. The process is likely to take 3 to 4 years. A new survey shows consumer confidence in India is falling in comparison to other countries. For the first time in 9 quarters, India was toppled from its top position in Nielsen's consumer confidence rankings. Indonesia is now in the top position at 120 points, while India comes in second at 119. The Nielsen survey said job security and the state of the economy were the primary concerns of Indian consumers. And finally, India will continue to maintain its commercial presence in the South China Sea. A senior executive from state-run OVL has told Mint the company will continue exploring for oil in Block 128 off the coast of Vietnam. The area is at the heart of a territorial dispute between China and several Southeast Asian countries. Earlier, China had protested the presence of an Indian surveying ship in the region. And that's all we have for you. Thanks for watching.